Good morning, everyone. How are you guys today? Thank you guys for joining in. All right, cool. Thank you guys for joining in today. I'm actually going to do a weekly review, weekly prep, just make sure everything is working. You guys can all hear me fine. It's been a while since I've done a charts and chills stream, so I want to make sure everything is working. I haven't used my setup in a while. All right, cool. Welcome, guys. So, what I'm going to start off with is a quick weekly recap on what we've seen the past week. I'm going to go over the indices and things like that, and then we'll get into what I'm watching for the next few weeks. First things first. The my camera working? I think I'm stuck. Give me a second, guys. Not working. Give me one sec, guys. Not sure why my camera's not working. All right, it's not working right now. I'm not gonna bother fixing it. It's okay. Okay, cool. So like I said, we're gonna do a quick weekly recap of what we saw in the indices. Starting off with ES and SPX. Everything in these all-time high ranges have been extremely well executed on our parts. All right. I've been able to find you guys new levels. Like I said, I have levels actually all the way up into 6900 on ES. That doesn't mean that we're hitting that this year. I'm just letting you guys know how I've prepared ahead of time. So all these new levels that I've been finding and adding beforehand, we have been playing them with conviction. It's been working out extremely well. The market is bullish, guys. There's nothing to argue about this. We are seeing something that we've never seen before in this type of rally. I mean, we've rallied and closed green 16 out of the past 18 weeks. So it's nothing to shy away from in terms of upside. But the macro view of this is that based on my 2024 analysis that I've published back in January, I told you guys the main all-time high target that I'm watching is 5100, 5200. I actually think we're hitting that earlier than expected. If I can actually pull up this chart with the actual analysis on it. Oh wait, not this one. This one. Yeah, I mean I haven't changed anything on this chart. This is still the same thing that I shared in the 2024 analysis I did earlier. The only difference that we haven't seen was that initial pullback in the beginning of the year that I was looking for back into the 4600 range for a bullish retest, and then we continue sending. We got a slight pullback, you know, into 4685. It's not that much of a difference when you're really thinking about it. I mean, my target was around max low was around like 4550. So it's about 130-point difference from the low versus my actual projected low on that dip. But so far, we have actually been following this to a T, and I can definitely expect higher and likely opening up the higher all-time high targets that I had, which is around 55, 5,600. Okay. So far, the projection has been following pretty well. We'll have to see what happens later on, but it's a lot of bullishness, guys. Like I've shared fun facts about election years with you guys earlier this month. Typically, since 1950, if January closes red, it precedes a bear market or red year 100% of the time. Okay. So far, we closed both January and February green. And based on that data, we have a very high possibility that we continue higher into the end of the year and see even new all-time highs. Okay, this is just based on historical data. This is not bias or opinion. This is actually based on data. Now, the things that you want to watch out for as well is pretty much the summertime and fall. August to October, another fun fact, is during election years. This is the time to watch for how the market reacts. Typically, if the market does well during August to October, then the sitting president is likely to win. Okay, aka Biden. All right. If the market is red on the S&P from August to October, then Trump is likely going to win. Okay, this is based on historical data. 89% of the time since 1936, if S&P is red from August to October, the other party is going to win the election. Okay, so same thing with if the market does well during that time, then Biden is going to win. Okay. Another fun fact regarding election years is that market usually bottoms 2 years after election years. So you're looking at about 2026 for the next market bottom. There's nothing bearish about this. I mean, even if we look at crypto, we have halving coming up in literally 2 months. Everything looks great. Right now it may be hard to trade all-time high ranges and uncharted territory, but I think I've proven enough that we've been able to trade these new ranges extremely well. And even if we do end up pulling back, let's say SPX pulls back 400, 500 points, it's still bullish, guys. And honestly, like, yeah, I would love to see a nice pullback because it becomes a little more sustainable and healthy for this type of rally. But even with a 400, 500 point pullback, a 10%, pullback from here, it's still bullish. I mean, the only way I would completely become fully bearish is if we get back down into the 4,700 range again, but ideally for any larger macro pullbacks, 4,700 would still be a good area for a bullish retest. All right, 47, 4,800. So now moving on to NQ. All right, actually, let me go over the pivots. So this week for SPX, we have the 51, 52, 64 as a weekly upside pivot. Our downside pivot is now 50, 95, 99. You guys should be familiar with these lower targets here and the lower levels. We've been rinsing and repeating for the past month or so with these levels. And as we continue higher or as we continue lower, the old previous pivots now become SNR flips, right? If there were weekly upside pivots prior, they now become weekly downside pivots. Okay, these pivots will act as major directional inflection points, either on a daily or on a weekly time frame, depending on how I provide you guys those pivots. Right? For example, on daily pivots. So last week I had provided you guys with a few targets on the upside for ES, and so far we actually hit the 51.4675 level. That was TP1 above the 51.20 break. And we rejected it on Friday and closed below. All right. This is now going to be your weekly upside pivot. I have more targets to the upside that we can see. It's all in the weekly plan. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a little bit of chop just to balance this range out and eventually auction higher. Okay. With NQ has been great. All right. We've taken some amazing trades off NQ. Okay, this entire month. And I've told you guys this before. When we start reaching new uncharted territory, okay, I have levels prepped. but I always size down until I get a better idea of the levels. Okay. I use that time while we trade in that range and price develops at these new levels. I size down. Okay. Once I get a better assessment and gauge of the strength in these levels, then that's when I size back up to my normal sizing. Okay. I've been doing this all year long on SPX. When we trade SPX and even when we trade NQ, this is what I do now. Okay. Every time we break out to a new range and test all these new levels that I have, I size down until I get a better assessment of the strength at every single level. Okay. And it's been working out extremely well because once we get a better assessment, you guys can see how well we do when the market is range bound. Right? This week, for example, I gave you guys 900.25 as a major level to watch out for in NQ. Okay? This is the Hodor level. Again, if you guys don't know what Hodor is, just YouTube that scene from Game of Thrones and you'll understand why I named this Hodor. All right? Very, very strong level. We bounced right off of this on Thursday. We continue rallying into our upper targets and pivots. Okay? This entire range has been a blessing for us the past like month or so. All right, this entire range, ever since we broke out and saw 18075, this initial high from the early beginning of February, everything's been playing out extremely well. It's pretty textbook. Even with this key balance support area that I provided you guys back in January, if you just extended it, this is exactly what we used on just a couple weeks ago. Okay, once we reclaimed this, we just continue rallying again, and you have this major bull flag that played out, broke out of the bull flag, saw previous high, chopped around again, and then we continue higher this week. Okay, so again, going back to this, I'm going to continue assessing new levels as price develops at all these other major levels that I have up here. We can start to assess the strength, and then I'll add some more labels to the levels for better memory. All right. But for this week, as long as we hold above this 150 level on NQ, I don't see any reason why we can be bearish. You can be intraday bearish if you like and trade these levels, but in terms of a macro view right now, we will continue to see higher until we break back below 150. Okay? Cool. Now, going into some individual names. JMIA, JMIA. All right. Gave this name to you guys in the beginning of the month. Okay, very, very simple trade. JMIA was a name that I traded way back. Actually, you can still see my drawings here and my squiggly here. Worked out perfectly. This was back in 2020. This is a name that I traded back in 2020 when everything else ran. It's basically Africa's Amazon. Okay, I ended up looking at this chart while I was going through everything and making a watch list. I saw this, and this is the most textbook A+ type of bottom setup that I like to play. Okay. If you guys have learned anything over the past couple of years, you know that I love trading tops and bottoms. It's probably one of my best edges when it comes to trading strategies. And they're very easy to spot. They're very easy to spot. This is how I found DraftKings, Coin, Carvana, Snow, ZS. All these names that I provided bottoms on over the course of the past year and a half have been because I've been able to spot these types of bottom reversals. Okay, so for JMIA, I shared this with you guys in the February 3rd watch list. I also posted it on Twitter. We have this huge demand zone that we've been holding from all-time low back in 2020. Bounce right off of it. You have a beautiful bull flag here. You got your little liquidity hunt and stop hunt right below this prior low. Reclaimed it. Volume's been looking pretty good within this range, and then you finally get the breakout. From the time I shared it, it's up 141% now. Okay, just on shares. All right, forget about options. It's up 141% on shares within a month. Okay, you're seeing these types of moves right now in the market, so don't shy away from trading any of these. All right. What else is there? Carvana. Carvana, you guys know I pretty much gave you guys the bottom on Carvana all the way back down in May of last year, which is right around $12, $13. Okay. We are now trading at 83. Massive squeeze. I told you guys for months, 57.32 is going to be key to watch. Okay. We took swings on Carvana. They printed. for March expiration. Now we're trading at new highs, and this is likely going to see my 97.70 target. Okay, but you take a look at something like this. I mean, just on shares, you're looking at what, 600% within less than a year, and you've done nothing. Just let it sit there. Okay, very very easy setups that I've been seeing over the past year when it comes to catching these bottoms. All right, Zoom. Let's talk. Actually, let's go over the watch list that we have for this week first, and then I'll get into some other individual names. First one is actually going to be gold. Gold. I do like gold here. I think the last time we played gold was probably November or December, one of those months, near this range. We have now started to break out of this range. High volume breakout on Friday. The only thing about gold is I want to be mindful is the last time we got a high volume breakout, it never held. Okay, and we actually saw a higher volume on the next daily print, which brought it to the downside. This looks great for an all-time high breakout. I don't see any reason why anyone would have a bear case on gold right now. Market is very risk on. BTC is over 60K. Gold is basically your traditional like boomer coin, right? I mean, it looks great. So the last time we played it, it just wasn't ready yet. I actually do think that it's finally ready. It might be safer to just take a few months out on gold. Gold moves extremely well when it comes to options. If you get like a 2-point gap up on gold, your swings are printing like 100% overnight, 100, 200, 300% overnight. It moves extremely well. So you can take advantage of some short-term options if you want to take, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out, or if you want to play the safe route and go back to taking 200 calls for 2 to 3 months out. Okay. Next one is Zoom. Zoom, again, another name that I've been discussing with you guys for a very long time based on the monthly inside candles. All right. If you guys actually just look at the results of the monthly inside candle video that I did, has it been a year already since I've done that? Almost. Wow. I think I did it in May. I don't remember. If you guys just rewatch that video and take notes on how I found bottoms just simply by using monthly inside candles, you will see the results of so many different names. Hood, Snow, what else was there? DraftKings. Okay, these are just some of the examples. All right. Zoom had a great ER. They're not going anywhere. Everyone is still using Zoom. I mean, their only real competitors is really Teams and Google Chat, basically, right? For video conferencing. But this looks great for a long-term position. Whether it's a 6-month, option call swing, or if it's just buying shares. I love Zoom and how it looks here. It may need a little more time before it finally breaks out, but I do think it's pretty ready soon. All right. Chart looks phenomenal. I mean, this is exactly the type of setup that I would trade. I would not be afraid to buy this at all. Okay. These are where your high conviction A+ reversal setups come from when you're finding bottoms. All right. Just to use DraftKings as an example as well. I mean, look at this. This is A+ reversal setup. Okay. These are the types of bottoms that I like to spot. And this is where I gave you guys DraftKings. Now, you pair that with the FA side of it where Massachusetts is going to get approved for sports betting. You don't want to fade that. Okay. Now DraftKings is up to just hit my 44 level from 13, 14, 15 bucks when I first shared it. All right. What's next? ENPH. Okay. ENPH. The last time I gave you guys ENPH on the weekly watch list was right at the bottom at 77. We completely nailed the bottom on this. We hit like 200% on swings within a week, and it just kept running. And it's now up almost 100% from the low within a matter of 5 months. Okay. When I was diving deeper into ENPH this week, I actually want to say that this 77 area may have actually been a generational bottom. Okay. I do like ENPH. This can easily break out of the structure here and completely flip trend again for the rest of the year. In terms of solar, ENPH is definitely one of the strongest names, which is why it's mainly the one that I focus on when I trade solar. I don't and FSLR, but I do like ENPH more than FSLR. I don't really focus too much on SPWR or SUNW or any of the smaller names, but ENPH provides beautiful moves every time it gets going, and I really do like this. And for a potential test of his previous low into 150, fill the gap from July as well from the previous ER when after SCDG had ER. Chart looks phenomenal. Okay, so breakout potential is coming soon. Ideally, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do another retest of this box here before setting higher, but I really do like end phase, even for long term. All right. Julios. Now, moving on to Roblox. You guys know I like Roblox. I've been talking about Roblox for a long time. Same thing. It's still trading within its monthly inside candles. Hasn't really done much. I do know that everyone and their mother plays Roblox. It's a strong company. Honestly, it's a strong company. I believe the past few ERs they've always increased their monthly active users and subscriber count. So it's a great platform for almost all ages because if you guys aren't familiar with Roblox, you can actually go on there and kind of create your own game in your own room, right? So I downloaded it on mobile one time, and there's like a custom game where you can play the Squid Games, the first one where you have to the red light green light whatever game. It's just like fun and for people who are bored or whatever. You know, it's a pretty good game, right? You can create so many different types of genres on there as well, shooting games, anything like that. It's massive multiplayer online for Roblox. Okay, so I do like the chart still. I was considering adding this to the watch list as the main watch, based on the fact that we are now this entire range here. You'll see. Okay, we are now testing the bottom of the range, and point of control. I do like this for even for a range trade. You take calls from the support area here, you play it up to the top, and you would essentially expect a move like this, right? And you finally get the breakout of the monthly inside, and then it can go into its own bull cycle soon. Okay, that's what I'm seeing on Roblox right now. It may need some time. It's already been raging in this for 2 years almost. So I have to see what happens with this, but I do like this as long as these areas hold. Hood. Okay. I mentioned Hood to you guys again recently, about a week or two ago. This is another name that we traded the initial breakout from. Was it July? Or was it here? I forget. One of these breakouts that we took on the monthly inside. And then retrace, chopped around a bit, and now it's sent again. Hood looks great. I think Hood can go on a major squeeze this year. This is also some sentiment with crypto as well. Hood does have relatively high crypto trading volume. They also hold a lot of BTC. So there's a lot of room up for Hood. I don't think they're going anywhere, honestly. As shitty as a platform as they were previously, they have been doing a lot of developments behind the scenes. You know, they have like a 4% APR. They're like introducing all these new features and tools. They have 24-hour trading on some platforms. There's still a lot of people who use Robinhood due to the how easy it is, right? The UI and all of that. So as shitty as they were during the meme squeeze year, and from my experience, the systems degraded a lot after that. Even after the meme squeezes were done, I had issues trading on Robinhood. There would be times where I send an order and it's sitting and pending for 5 minutes and it just wouldn't go through. And this is just during regular trading seasons. It wasn't during the meme squeeze. This was way after. And because of that, like I just had to get off Robinhood because that puts so much risk on your positions, right? And it's just not a good experience. But based on what I'm seeing right now, especially with a lot of people on FinTwit still using Hood, I do think that they've bounced back pretty hard fundamentally, and this is setting up for a major squeeze. I mean, just look at the volume that we had within this range on the breakout attempt again, second attempt of the breakout. The amount of volume that you're seeing here, you know, people are accumulating Hood. It's very obvious. So right now, I probably wouldn't chase this yet. I would wait for a pullback, but I do like leaps on this, even if you're taking January 2025, maybe 20 calls or 2026 calls as well. Or if you just want to play shares, like JMIA was great for shares, 140% on shares. Okay, easy. You don't even need to risk taking options on these names. There's a lot of upside right now. So Hood is definitely one I want to continue watching for pullbacks and for better entries. Okay. Beyond, or not Beyond Meats, but BYON. So I actually just recently found this out from a member that BYON is actually Overstock. I didn't realize that. I never realized Overstock had rebranded. But I actually do like this a lot. I just wish I knew this earlier because I had no idea what this was. So Overstock apparently rebranded into Beyond. Now their ticker is BYON. And when Overstock gets going, it gets going. And I do love the chart. I think it's overextended at the moment. But if we can get a retest, even a higher low, retest back into the prior high and MAs, we can continue setting higher, breaking out this range. So this is another name that I just put on the side watch for now. I don't think we're going to be able to get any entries yet. Definitely something to watch out for. WY. This is another name that I mentioned to you guys before. It was on the previous weekly watch list, I believe, last month. I think we shared it around here. Massive breakout. The thing with WY is that it's a very slow mover. So if you trade this type of name, you have to get further expiration. Okay? 2 to 3 months out, you can get closer to the money. It moves slow, but I really love the chart. We are starting to break out of this entire accumulation range here. That's also another monthly inside from September 2022. Okay, so it's about a year and a half now that we've been trading in this range. We should be able to get a massive breakout and retest this key level here at 38 and likely into the previous all-time high range. All right. Now, SE. SE, another name that I really loved. I think we waited a little too long for entries on this, but this has played out perfectly as well from the lows. We are now trading back at 51. I believe the last time I added it was probably down here in January to the weekly watch list. I expect more upside. I definitely want to chase this now. They have ER coming up on actually this week, tomorrow. I'd be interested to see how the ER plays out. But looks pretty good. I like SC. It may have bottomed out. Depends on ER. They usually dump on ER as we've seen the past, year. So keep an eye on this one as well. AI. Another name that I put on your radar recently. I did this based on a potential fractal on coin. Okay. This is a potential coin fractal that I found with AI. And coincidentally, when I had both charts up during the regular trading hours, they actually moved in tandem with each other, weirdly enough. The day after I started looking at this. I think AI still has more room. We can at least retest the box here, up here. I played AIER. I think some of you guys got in with me. It printed. April contracts went over 100%. Very easy play. We broke out, gapped up, and even into Friday, we actually closed pretty strong. Retesting a low on the ER day and bouncing. So definitely another name that I want to keep on the radar. The last time I gave it to you guys, I don't remember. We caught him like a massive move into 30 or 40 near the lows as well. So definitely want to keep an eye out on this one. Let's see, what else did I have? I have a lot to go over today. Zillow. I do like Zillow. Real estate names should be making a comeback within the next year or so. Zillow looks pretty good. We've been able to hold the MAs, complete trend flip off the lows. We've had a little peekaboo breakout of this structure here. Okay. Broke out. Was this ER day? No, that was after ER. Broke out, closed below, retraced the lows, and then now bouncing off the MAs again. So I do like Zillow as well. If I actually just extend this out a bit more, you'll notice this is the box that we need to break to retest 65. Refi. This is another name that I've added. I shared this with you guys when it was about 15, somewhere here. Relatively newer name in real estate. Chart looks phenomenal. I think when I double checked the Options chain, I don't think they have that much volume on it. So it may be better to just, look at longer spot positions rather than taking options on this. But I do like the chart. With real estate, seeing some bullishness, and later on, eventually when they cut rates, this is setting up for a nice move on all real estate names. Cool. Dynamics. All right. ARCG. We are currently already in a swing that I'm building a position on. I like ARCG a lot. This is a Kathy Wood ETF. She was very bullish on genomics back in 2020. It had a major cycle. Crisp went like 50x or whatever it was. Most of the names have been retesting the prior breakout ranges in the past year and a half. Most sectors already, and most of them have already bounced and broken back out. Genomics is one of the major sectors that I'm looking at for the next bull cycle. Okay, they're still lagging behind everything else. Crisp has already started to break out. All right, I think the last time I added Crisp for you guys to the weekly watch list was probably down here prior to the breakout. Either that or here. I forget what it was. Crisp has broken out completely. You guys can just go back to Discord and search the previous watch list. This can definitely see higher. I wouldn't chase Crisp now. Needs to structure out after ER and let this play out. But they can easily send this back right back into this range. Okay. Loving the chart. All right. Edit. It's us. We also played this past week. I told you guys Edit looked amazing. The night before was when I shared it with you guys. Then the day after, we day traded it for 100% right after they had ER. Amazing. Setup looks absolutely phenomenal. The R on this, even if it's just shares, I like it. Okay. Edit, Crisp, NTLA, they're probably some of the largest and staple names in the genomics sector. So I really do like this basket. ARCG is just simply an easier way to just buy the ETF, but I have no qualms with trading the individual names themselves as well. All right. Kodak. Let's talk about Kodak. So we are currently in a 7.5 swing for March 15th. Initially, when we got in, I actually thought it was 1 DTE, Friday expiration. I didn't realize it was a monthly contract. So by the time it was like 3 p.m., I was like, why is this contract not worthless yet? And that's when I realized it was a monthly that I bought. They only have monthlies. So going back to Kodak, you guys might remember the squeeze that we saw back in 2021. The reason why they got this huge move this past week was due to the fact that they had announced a potential pension reversal. What that usually means is that they have, well, number one, they have a surplus of funds in their pension fund. It's like $1.2 billion surplus. Okay. They are able to tap into that pension fund and take out cash, depending on, all the contracts with the employees and things like that. They are able to take out that money from the pension fund and reinvest that in other things. If they want to pay off debt, they can. If they want to invest in R&D, they can. Okay. For those who aren't familiar, most people should be familiar with Kodak, unless you're Gen Z or later. Kodak was the #1 photography company in the world. Okay. The reason why they started failing was because they couldn't make the transition into digital. Okay. They just couldn't follow the trend into new innovations. They were the ones who did film and traditional cameras, right? So due to that failed business model and failure to adhere themselves to new innovations, they pretty much failed as a company, and they now transitioned into making chemicals and materials instead for the photography industry. They have about, if my numbers are right, they have about $500 million in debt. If they actually do tap into the pension fund, 1.2 billion, and they take out that cash, they can easily pay off the debt and reinvest another 700 million into other things, R&D, new products, whatever the case may be, buybacks. We'll have to see from there. Obviously, the withdrawing the money from the pension fund will also require taxes. Okay, But regardless of the situation, this is the highest weekly volume that we've seen on Kodak since 2022. Massive, massive volume breakout. And I would not be surprised if they end up squeezing this. Kodak does not have a high short float, so this isn't really a short squeeze candidate. But based on the potential macro outlook on this, fundamentally speaking, if they do tap into that cash, they pay off the debts, they have more free cash flow, they're able to reinvest that into other things for the company, and this may set up for a nice run on it. Okay, so lottos that we took, I'm sized for 0. I would love to see how this plays out. I definitely want to keep this on the radar for the next few months. It's pretty evident that even after the day that they announced the pension fund news, they held pretty strong. Very strong closes on the week, on the daily as well. Okay. So this is this is another name that I want to watch. What else is there? RKT. Rocket Mortgage. So the reason why I kind of looked at Rocket Mortgage lately is because I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for Rocket Mortgage. I don't know why. I've just been seeing a lot of advertisements. And the last time I saw one of the reasons why I was able to give you guys Carvana at the bottom was because I saw the Carvana building the day I was leaving Miami. I just saw it out of nowhere when I was at Topgolf, and it just came to my mind, oh, why don't I look at Carvana chart? And the timing was just perfect. Okay. Rocket Mortgage, I've been seeing a shit ton of ads for this. All right. Another real estate play, another potential A+ reversal setup from the lows. This looks phenomenal, guys. I love RKT. In terms of trading it as a stock, it's a pretty shitty stock to trade. The last time I traded was probably 2020 or 2021. Chart looks great. We've had a massive run recently in December. Pulled back, looks extremely strong. You have your little stop on liquidity backbreaker down here. Very strong close into the week. All right. They finished ER, so we're done with that. Okay. Long as this range here holds, actually, I can extend it. Long as this range here holds, this accumulation range, I definitely see some more upside for RKT. Like this name a lot. Cool. All right, I think that's it. That's all the names I wanted to cover. Don't think I missed anything else. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything else. First rare, blah, 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 blah. Yep, that's it. Anyone have any questions? Oh, by the way, if you guys do enjoy the content, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share. This is all free content that I do for whoever joins. So, usually some good value in the streams. Any questions? I'm going to go like my own video as well. So if you guys can do the same like video, that would be great. Lee, sure. Yeah, I was looking at Lee the other day. Lee looks great. Actually, I forgot to get in puts on Friday. I wanted to take puts as a swing to kind of fill these gaps. Lee looks great. I think once it breaks his all-time high, it's going to completely send. Okay. But as of right now, I definitely wouldn't chase this yet. I think RR is better for some short-term puts to play it back down into the gaps and retest the MAs before it ends up setting higher. And it's been much stronger than the rest of China EVs. So I mean, even if you look at Neo looks like trash. Potential bottom may be in for Neo, but as of right now, I would hate to be a holder of Neo. Right, it's just completely trending down. Same with the even Baba looks pretty good still now. But generally speaking, if you were holding spot positions on China names for the past 2 years, you're probably at a loss. Meanwhile, the rest of the market has been doing 2x, 3x, 4x. So I do like Li. Definitely the stronger EV name in China. Any other questions? 12:40. 40 minutes, not bad, covering all that. Anything else, guys? If not, I am going to end this early and let you guys go. Enjoy your Sunday. All right, I guess that's it. No one else has questions? That's all, folks. Appreciate you guys joining on a Sunday. I'm gonna try to get back to doing these more often. I do enjoy them. It's just we just haven't really been consistent with this lately. But aside from that, make sure for those in the community, make sure you guys are always looking at the weekly watch list. I want to stress and emphasize the importance of being able to execute these trades on your own. Okay. These weekly plans and weekly watch lists are not just for me, it's for you guys. Everything is set, everything is provided. You know, all you have to do is press play. You have your entries, you have your targets, you have your validation points, you have the specific contracts that you should be looking at for these setups. Everything is there, guys. Okay. You should be able to take these and execute these trades without me hand holding you throughout every single step of the way. I've already done that. I'm serving it to you on a silver platter. All right. Just execute. That's it. Especially those who don't have the time to day trade often. That's what it's there for. Weekly watch lists are focused primarily on swings. You can day trade them using the same analysis, but they're primarily focused on swings, longer term. So you guys should be able to easily execute these on your own, just by following the plan. That's it. It's very straightforward. Okay. Even with daily plans and weekly plans on the indices, SPX and QES, it becomes very easy with just utilizing the levels and trading them. That's it. All right. Cool. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow.